What can you do to up your game? What can you do to take your career to the next level? And I'm here to tell you. All right, hey, let's get into it. D Franz here, talking sales. I was going to do a video only on the fact that traditional salespeople, salesmen, saleswomen, are going to be insignificant. They're going to be going away, really, because of modern technology and AI. And what I'm really referring to is transactional sales. Any salesperson that just facilitates a transaction, like a car salesperson or a guy that sells women's shoes or a gal. There's 1.2 million insurance agents, real estate agents. There's 1.4 million real estate agents. And that's a pretty deep transaction, selling a home and facilitating a smooth transaction there. So that's not going to be going away as quick. But if there's 1.4 million, maybe half of them are going to go away a lot quicker than a lot of people think. So I was going to do a video on just that fact and cover that, but this is going to be episode number 1 about sales in general. And I can mix that in because if you're thinking about getting into sales, if you're already in sales, you need to be aware of that fact. And how do you survive? How do you thrive? Well, you become an educator. You become an entertainer. You actually are way more than the transaction. And that's going to be at the utmost importance because if you think about, I did a quick search, there's 18 million car dealerships in the USA. Well, imagine how many sales reps. If there's 18 million car dealerships, then, times that by at least a half a dozen minimum. And with Carvana and with CarMax, I mean, there's an obvious shift of if you're not providing some value consistently to your community and to the person you work with, you're going to be obsolete. And I hear it all the time. If you don't like change, you're really not going to like becoming irrelevant. So what about mattresses? I just did some searching. There's 16,000 mattress stores that do $14 billion in business. And really, it's obvious that someday you're not going to need that middleman. They don't really entertain me or yes, they provide value now, but I could walk into a store and touch a screen and lay on the mattress and have an AI robot probably talk to me and cut out the middleman and save $300 on a $2,000 mattress. So that's where I'm at. Now I do have some notes here. You see, I have a couple sales books here that I picked out of my personal library. You can see my library of books is a lot bigger. This is actually on my wall right behind me, but I didn't feel like changing my setting. I like my background, so I went ahead and I picked out some of my favorites. The Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Of course, just grab any GV book and it's going to help you with sales and entrepreneurship and being real and transparent and educating and entertaining and becoming an authority, becoming an expert in your craft. Lots of that in here. My homie Tom Ferry, of course, he's in there. Life by Design. This book is from a couple years ago and it's tried and true. The millionaire real estate agent. This is Gary Keller. This is money. If you're in real estate, you got to pick this up. I've never worked directly with Keller Williams, but I've absolutely been influenced by their culture. So here we go. Let's get into a little bit of details here. And I did make some notes on my iPad. And this video, by the time this publishes, I have a feeling that my reveal video with my partner Suzanne is out, and everybody knows now I have joined eXp Realty, the cloud-based next, the thing of the future is what eXp is. eliminating brick and mortar, eliminating all of these fees that are so antiquated, desk fees and training fees and this fee and what's this line item. There is so much opportunity with EXP right now. There's about 30,000 agents worldwide, most of them in the US, of course, and they've only been around 10 years. So, Suzanne and I, our job is going to be able to give and provide value to the agents that join our team. And what I'm going to bring primarily is sales strategies. What can you do to up your game? What can you do to take your career to the next level? And I'm here to tell you that unless you're a sales professional, think of the terminology: sales guy, sales gal, salesperson, sales rep. You absolutely have to be a professional or you're not going to win. You have to be on time. You have to look good. You got to smell good. You have to be educated. You have to be equipped with the right materials and the right tools. The list is long. It's a laundry list of what you have to pull off to take this sales career to the next level. So I just wrote what I'm going to be covering in my sequence. Let's go ahead and call this episode number 1. Okay. What I'm going to cover in episode number 2 might be about routine. Episode number 3 might be about your health. Episode number 4 might be about mastering presentation and negotiation and closing skills. Got to get this one. I'm just going to go through these one by one. These are my favorites. So if you're getting into sales, I would tell you that books and leaders and YouTube, you have no excuse right now not to start off on the right foot. Follow me. I'm happy. This is all going to be free. There might be a paid course, a version of what I do down the road for EXP. Of course, what Suzanne does is Suzanne is a marketing ninja. So what she does is a little bit different. She just can't put her info out there. She's going to do that in a course format, but there's just so many people that aren't going to be able to execute what she gives you, step 1, step 2, step 3. She's going to have to actually log into your ads manager and do that. So that's a little bit different. But for me, I'm going to put this out there. Now, if it comes to one-on-one training or training for an indie brokerage or hiring me at some capacity, we'll talk about that down the road. But right now, just follow my advice, and you might not love it all, but I have a feeling a lot of it, whether you're new in sales, whether you've been in sales for a long time, whether you're a career salesman, this is going to help you a lot. Okay, my dad retired handsomely from a sales career selling a D commodity where really relationships, that's the only way we won at our company that we both worked for. It was darn near you could order what we sold: front panel overlays, subsurface printed high-end stickers, labels, decals for the electronics industry. You could darn near order those out of a catalog. So we really had to build relationships and trust and go deep into the ability to retain these clients and grow within these organizations, because a lot of these organizations, Cisco and Juniper Networks, and they would have 7 different vendors, because if one wasn't on time, because the reputation of salespeople, he made all these promises, he probably won't be able to deliver on that. So when you do, your career really flourishes, and things just go crazy when you're a professional. So grab this one. This is some Stephen Covey action. 7 Habits. Grab that, of course, if you haven't already. Old school Dale Carnegie. I have a couple more Dale Carnegies up there, but this one is just money. How to win friends and influence people. It's just, there's so much raw transparency in there. But before we go too long on this, and I probably want to go for just a couple more minutes, here's kind of my thought. Okay, and I'm reading from my iPad here, just to give it to you. Okay, So salespeople make the world go round. Everything from sales trickles down. Designing, programming, engineering, building, planning, shipping. I think I could tie darn near every profession, besides first responders and the medical industry. I think I could tie almost every profession to somebody selling something, because it just trickles down from there. So I said, to me, it feels like if no one sells anything, then no one else has to do anything. And I truly believe that. That's really believing that you have an impact and importance in your role. And if you don't take that route, if you're not that serious about what you do, you might be wanting to look for another field. You're not doing anybody a good service if you don't truly believe in your product or your service. And that's one thing I've always said to people. I've been so lucky. Anything I've ever sold or repped, I have been passionate about, and I have believed in. So easier said than done. If you work for some crappy company, then it's just a lot harder for you to actually be open and honest and down to earth because of the product and service that you're repping. So I said here, supply chains are tied to orders and sales. Think of Selectron and Sanmina and supply chains. I mean, that massive supply chains. They don't get filled unless orders are placed at the top. I call it the Amazon effect. Good sales professionals move the needle. Just imagine if all salespeople, sales professionals, across the world made one extra call every day. That would move the economic needle, and that's what I was trained to do. That's what my godfather taught me. One more call, D. It was just normal, one more call. Get in early, one more call at the end of the day. If you're done with your day, one more call. Think about how many more houses would be sold if the trickle-down effect played a part in the real estate world. That would definitely affect the economy. There are so many connected industries that would be impacted, that are impacted when a home sells. Way over a dozen. You got photographers and title and escrow and inspection, and did I say that already? But that's really what I believe in. You know what I mean? It is true, and I know it's true. So we're going to be watching this happen in the near future. You're just going to see technology and bots and chat tools and AI replace a lot of transactional sales. So I said traditional salespeople, transactional salespeople will be obsolete someday soon. A sales professional moving forward is going to have to provide way more than facilitating the transaction. The modern sales professional will have to do way more. They're going to have to educate. They're going to have to provide true, tangible value and entertain. And I do not mean whining and dining. I mean the actual sales professional is the entertainer. They are the medium. They're the brand. And now with social media, they have all of these tools. They have all the social media tools at their disposal to get their education out, to proliferate their expertise. Get it out there. Build your brand, right? That's what I'm talking about. Talking about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. It's endless. So I don't want to get too deep into it. I have some other notes here that I'm going to save for episode 2, let's call it. But let's go through the books real quick. GV, if you didn't start with Crush It and then move to the Thank You Economy, and then, what's the other one up there? Ask Gary V. I got them all. Life by Design, TF, my man Tom Ferry, always keeping it real. Tom is the classic. Go to his blog, go to his Instagram. It's just good information, and he's just giving. Of course, he'll take your money. He has a super expensive, training and course that is all worth it, worth every penny. So if you are making money in real estate and you do want accountability and you want structure and you want a trainer, you call Tom's team. Look at this. The Millionaire Real Estate by Gary Keller. This just breaks it down. It exactly builds the exact framework for, like, how do I do it? What do I do? It's in this book for real estate. Now, this is just sales in general. This is old Neil Rackman, old school style, spin. We're talking about situation, problem, implication, need, payoff. I know this thing like the back of my hand. And it's fun for me because, you know, when I got into sales, I was 21 years old, and my godfather sent me to Dale Carnegie. He sent me to Franklin Covey. He sent me to these, you know, training programs where I won awards and stuff at a really young age. And a lot of it was just human stuff. So I was so blessed to have been raised the right way by my mom and dad. You know, I like GV says, I kind of won the parent lottery. You know, you can't pick your parents, you know? So I remember going to these courses and thinking, wow, I do that. I actually write notes down every time I talk to somebody. And then I go back and I form my next day based on my notes and the verbal commitments and you know, a lot of people make verbal commitments, but then they never write it down. I would go and I'd write that. I mean, I got a notepad right here. I got notes right here. So I would write the notes down. I knew the person that I was talking to wasn't thinking that I was going to do what I said I was doing, but man, 99 times out of 100, I'd get in my car and I'd write it down, and I would just obsess about executing that little thing, that little sample material or whatever it was. Okay. So this is episode 1. This is your very broad, you know, how-to in sales. Books, leaders, mentorship, no excuse not to get started in the right path. And hopefully this is helping you a little bit if you're new in sales. If you've been doing it a long time, maybe it's a little bit of a wake-up call, because if you're not going to that next level, mastering your craft, educating, entertaining, good luck. You know, find something that is in your wheelhouse that you're passionate about. Go back and read Crush It and find out what your passion is, and you know, make 80 grand a year blogging about, you know, whatever. I mean, flowers, whatever, versus, you know, making 140 grand a year, not being happy and not being passionate around it. Okay. So D-Friends, episode number 1, Sales 101. I'm out. Peace.